Hey, how you guys doing? Alright. Let's see, how's everybody going? We're gonna do a Yazur versus Alexander Shopalov. I think that's his name. I apologize if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Okay. D4, E6, D4, D5. So this is the start of the French. B6. It's kind of an odd. Yazur, I gotta say, Yazur plays the French a little different than most people, so it's kind of why I liked looking at it. It's kind of a different main line of the French. If you're wanting to play more positionally and kind of you want to look at his Frenches. B4, Bishop, A4. He's attacking right there, so we have to play queen to guard. It's kind of forced. You can either do that, or you really don't want to move your bishop, because then it's blocking all these pawns here. If you move the bishop, it'd be going there, so it's like So queen makes more sense, because later on you also want to be able to move this knight too, so potentially c takes, knight takes, and in comes the knight, like a roaming warrior. Boom. See, bishop A. Now we got a potential discovery. So if we play here, if he takes, we have a discovery maybe on the bishop, on the rook. I mean, B3, bishop E7, pawn takes, takes, king takes, because you can't take with the queen, of course. You see why, because then that'll fall. So you have to take with the king. He takes, and now, hey, how you doing? So this is how you have to now set up your forces for white, because black's going to go for a huge onslaught. King c8. It looks tempting to grab this pawn, but don't be fooled, because you may get, you may walk right into a huge attack. You got to be careful. There's an attack there. You have an attack here. There's a lot. You even could bring your rook over and attack down that route. So sometimes the best thing to do is just get the king out of dodge. Just get everything developed. King h1, bishop. Now you're attacking the knight right on through to the bishop, so that's really powerful. It's kind of interesting how he walked his king over to a safe spot. F5, and now takes, queen A4. They're playing on a check here with some sich. Let's get this pawn rolling. Takes. You really can't play there. Wait, I guess you could, but then you run right into that. So, do we like that? Because there, yeah. Smack, and then if he moves, your queen, he's got to give up. Yeah, you'd have to. And maybe white, black has a slight advantage there, but I don't know. He's up a pawn, a whole piece, so. Kind of a little different. And he resigned because there's really no way to. I guess you could. You'd have to move there and then takes. And you're out material. It's kind of odd. I want to check some of these moves out. I have really not seen move sequences like these before. How about bishop? Boom, okay. Kind of give space for the king. Yeah, that's kind of an interesting match for sure. So this is a Nakamura versus Alexander Grushchuk from the Blitz game in chess in Paris, the Grand Tour. E4, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5. Oh, I'm not sure. I haven't checked. On, I think, Allied Chess. I think I played that one on ICC Chess, and I think I was like, let me see, about 2000, I think. I didn't. That was a online one. I haven't played on ICC Chess. I don't remember what my rating is, but it was pretty interesting, that game. Okay, here this is the critical part right here, and yeah, this move here was not the best move. What you have to now do is, because it weakens these 2 points for black, but Hikaru missed the move, so you have potentially, you can drop a knight in here, or maybe even play bishop to be before, but that does provoke that. So that makes sense. That's actually, I see why now, because that opens up this diagonal. Gotcha. H6. So bishop f6, h3, h5 to stop this here. Bishop b2. Alright, now we're attacking. Boom. Alright, we haven't won a pawn yet. Potentially. I think if he plays there, we may actually win. Do we win a pawn here? Maybe we actually win a pawn. You can't do that because then we can always bring our bishop there. All right, h6. These were our 5-minute games. Bishop takes g, f takes, a takes. That's crazy. He sacrificed a piece. He did disintegrate the king side on black, though, so. Actually, hold on. Not rook there. We want to take. So he takes. So he can't play that. This makes more sense though if he takes. So I think white's ahead in this line. Oh, black is. That's why I didn't understand. Yeah, this was a mistake there. Rook h1. Oh, double. Oh, so king, so you have to move the king. Okay. You gotta have courage for this. Let's just say. Okay, so if you take with the knight. Oh, I see. Now we got him. Now we've accomplished our. We'd still be up some material here. This would be a little harder to win. You could do that. If the king comes up here, you then can hammer home. I think we can play there now. Boom, now we got that pawn. So it'd be a little hard to win this, but so let's get into our London system now, studies. Well, we wanted to go over that. Okay. This is the slot. This is the symmetrical, or it's the same move sequence a little bit with the bishops, and it's a Slav defense. It's actually the London versus the Slav variation too. Okay, dokie, let's do it. You see how he plays there, and then now you play knight c3, e6, b, because when this bishop gets locked out here, the white queen shifts right over to b3. That's the same thing with black. Black does the same thing, but in the symmetrical position of the same position. I don't think I'm pronouncing it right, but that's okay. When the bishops are like this, you bring the queen there to b3. This is the Slav right here, but it's the London versus the Slav. And then you go c5. This is a big time move. It's kind of interesting. It kind of reminds me a little bit of reverse London against black, because this is what black usually does to white to kick the bishop back to c2. I mean, not bishop, the queen back to c2. He usually plays his pawn here, but it's white who's actually doing that, and white actually has spatial advantage on the queen side, which is kind of rare in the beginning of the London. It's usually you have to consolidate, then you do queen side attack. B takes, A takes, and knight b7. There's a line that's not as good, and it's knight h5. And then what happens is you actually win a pawn here. Yeah, you pick up a pawn. Boom, right there. And so then, oops, drat, sorry about that, guys. Here, you pick a pawn up, because when you take the knight, you draw the rook away from a7, and so that falls. And then b6, b takes c, rook takes, and then a8. Rook a8, king d2, and we'll go through this line, and then I'll go back and I'll show you, rather than king to d7, there's king e7, and it's as bad. It's not. It's about the same. Boom. Because you're taking there, and now you're winning. You're gonna win back the exchange. And if black plays that move there, you then play g4, and f6, you play knight d7, and you win material. There's no way that you're not going to win something, because you have a fork here and you have a knight takes there. So this is a pain in the drain. So we'll go back to a check, rook to a8 check. Rather than king d7, there's king e7, bishop e2, and f6, and bishop d. And this actually reconsolidates everything. White's up a pawn, and he's protecting his b3 pawn, and there's nothing that black can do at this moment to even think about touching that pawn. So that's why h5, you play h5. There's also, rather than h5, there's knight to e7. Knight e7 is an interesting move, because let me see here, so let's see, 9, okay. Okay, let's see, hold on. Alright, instead of knight c5, there we go. Black can try to mess things up with bishop to e7, and then we play b5, and then he plays the interesting e5, which supposedly attacks the bishop, but we take. Knight goes to h5, and this actually favors black's line. And then g5. G5 is actually a good move. Hold on, I missed putting in an exclam mark there. I knew I forgot one when I was putting it into the machine. And then G5, and it's like boom, baby. You gotta love that, because you're sacrificing, and then you play knight to f3. You're gonna end up winning material. You're hitting him, you're threatening d4. You're also threatening to take on c6. You're also going to potentially win a pair of bishops, the pair of bishops, and take it away. And you're going to be up 3 healthy pawns to black's weakness. Thank you. Bye-bye. So that's the whole idea. Based on that is, you sacrifice a piece for 3 pawns. This is under fire, potentially that, and you're gonna win for the knight, one of the bishops at least, and then potentially have a fork to boot. But he plays he plays knight h5. We play bishop e5 with an exclam mark, because if black takes, we'll take back, and we're still fine. We have a good consolidation on the king side, and we actually can consolidate with after takes f3, and then g4, and he's in a problem, because when I'll show you what I'm talking about. E takes, d takes. Now this is taken away. That takes is an interesting move, but g5, which gives black a flight square. It's the only move that gives him a flight square, but it's still not as good. It's not as good as we would want him to have. So e2, we have to remember that with g5. Sorry, I got to go back to g5 here. This is what was wrote down. White has acquired several trumps in this thing. He puts the knight to offside to c5. I mean h5. He acquired locking down the pawns on d4, and potentially he'll have a knight to f3 and knight to d4, and that'll so his knight will end up on an outpost to stop that. And white has a spatial advantage on the queen side, so white's controlling everything. So he's got a knight. He has black's knight on the rim. He controls d3, d4 with the knight potentially going there, and he has spatial advantage on the queen side. So he's winning right now. And the line continues with castles f6. He takes, and b5. What white's trying to do is undermine the queen side. He takes, and then a6. This is an exclam because you're attacking here, and you're attacking there. Takes, and then this is sweet. If he takes here, if he took there, the rook would slide over and take the bishop, attacking the other bishop. So white would be able to take away black's advantage of the two bishops, and it would come down to, at that point, who has the best structure. And of course you see that it's white, because of how his structure. Black has 3, white has 2 pawn islands. See, this is 1 pawn island, that's 1 pawn island, and that's 1 pawn island. So 3. White has only 2. Okay, it's saying what would happen if, rather than e5, what if he played g5? What would happen if he played g5? I mean g6 here. See, he played g5 before. So what would happen though if he played g6? f3, bishop e2, c2, king d2. Now this is stopping. This is almost, the bishop's almost trapped. Bishop b3, rook to a3. Let's force it back here. C takes, and knight to e4 with a bind. He's binding the black's position. He's putting them in a boa constricting thing, because what's going to happen is now this rook can actually slide over and pick this pawn up. Like if a rook comes over to d8, you always have the potential for knight to d6. If bishop takes d6, pawn takes, and if he tries to hold that, the rook can come. So you got a big attack. So e5, f6, mistake, c7. That was a great move. c5, excellent, because this is going to allow the knight to have a spot to go to. Otherwise, the knight would have been trapped. You could have had a, if you had played something else, you could have played f and then g, or h and then g4. So okay, hold on. Let's, if rather than g5, if he plays rook, don't get tempted in doing this. This is a mistake. This will allow you to actually lose a pawn here. See, you drop a whole pawn. Yeah, a6. Hold on, did I put all that in? Let me see here. Hold on. Let's see. Okay, after, I want to make sure I did this right. So after, okay, rook c8. Okay, my bad. I forgot to put a question mark. d6. if he takes, pawn takes, and he played G5 here. If he had played A6, I don't think I put A6 in there. Apologize, guys. I thought I put everything in. This is actually a double question mark losing move. I must have missed that. It drops a piece with E2, bishop E2, because bishop G6. Because now that's a threat. G4 is a threat because the bishop protects it. So bishop, and then now what we do is, of course, you guys see what the move is. What do you guys think the move for? Because I didn't put this in. What do you think the move for white is to win a piece here? I'll give you guys a second or two to take a look and see what you guys think the move is. Well, if you guys were saying G4, you're correct. This actually picks a piece up. So that's why there, and we snap a pawn off. Got to be careful that you don't get enticed into. And then this is a sweet move here. Boom. Takes. It takes. So these pawns, I know you're thinking, why not just come over and grab that? No, your pawns are better. Once you take here, you have a total onslaught of pawns coming up the board. And there's what you're thinking, what would happen if you took with the rook, right? C takes, and then check and smack. We win that. E5, knight F3, because they're trying to trap. We can't take this pawn here because it's protected by the bishop on the bishop. So knight takes, and then H4. This undermines the pawn structure. And then what we're gonna do is potentially play knight to D5 or D4 and attack the bishop. And if the bishop tries to come to E4, we're going to play F3, and then we're just going to start. We're going to choke so we can get our rook out, or potentially maybe just there, and you never know. It's always in routes. So G5, B5, C takes. You're probably thinking, what happens if rook to C8 now? Rook C8 now actually doesn't work. It loses the A pawn. So pawn takes, and then king takes, and then it drops the A pawn. So it's not a good move. See, takes, A6, B. This actually gets an exclam, because what white wants to do is, if the bishop trades, he wants to implant a knight on, if this bishop ever took on D6, white wants to implant a knight on D6 as well, with check to win this pawn. So it'd pick a pawn off. So the rook moves, bishop takes, king takes, and knight D6. Now we're gonna pick up. We're gonna finally get the bishops off the board. White's last bishop. He takes, and then E2 exclam, because this is planning on going to C3 to attack the base pawn on D5, and as well potentially, maybe if must be, you can go hold on, let me make sure are we still recording? Hold on, I just want to make sure. Yes, we're still good. It was alright. Sweet. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Okay, you can go to C3 and attack the pawn. So F4 was played, knight C3, C takes, pawn takes, C6. Bishop is now attacking the knight. So with G, castles. Oh, what in the world's going on here? Whoa. Yikesies, yikesies. What was that? Sorry. Oh, that was kind of odd. Okay, I'm gonna turn off the engine. I don't want the engine on. So E8. Hold on. Let me get back to knight to C3. I am sorry, guys. That's the computer glitched there. So he takes, and then bishop E2. Okay, bishop E2. There we go. Okay, bishop E2. Okay, knight to G7. Castles. And king F7. Knight takes E5. Rook to E8. And then we have B4. We're trying to destroy this chain of on the last bit right here. See if we can't get a passer. C8, and then B5. Now we're getting to the good part. I like this part here. Did I do 18? Yeah, I think so. Let me see. Let's see. Let's go back here. I think I missed on F. I wanted to show you what would happen here. I have another line that would come in, and you win the pawn. So if he tries to bring the king into guard here, you win the pawn there. Okay, so let's get back to the castles where we are. King of 8. Knight takes, we win. Rook slides over. B5, B4, we talked about that. C. And then now we're undermining this structure, the A6 pawn with B5. Now we're going C6. Boom, baby. You gotta love that. And if you're thinking, what happens so if you take, right? B takes, and now the knight's pinned to the rook, so you can't do that. So B5, C, D. And then now we take the knight, and he resigned here. The ending arose after the 8th move, giving white the lasting strategic pressure. So let's go to move 8, and we'll talk about move 8 real quick, because you always should have a wrap up. Here, when the queen took, and then the pawn took back, this gave white, this right here is what gave black white the bind for the rest of the entire game. This pawn right here held everything together. The B4 pawn was the backbone of the entire game, and white used it to its superior advantage. So we will now go into our puzzles and see how we do here. Excuse me. So let's see here. Okay, he's eyeing our C6 pawn. Let's see, how do we take advantage of that? are we missing here? What are we missing? Hold on, let's take a look here. Let's go all the way back to the beginning. Okay. I'm thinking it has something to do with F6. The only problem I see with F6 is a fork there. Yeah, that would not be fun. So we can't really do that. Maybe we can actually check. I'm not real sure here, guys. What are we missing here? It's no longer defending this knight. Oh, if we push and he takes. Oh, nice. If we push and then he takes, then we have there. So if we push, takes, there. Yeah, I like that. Oh. Oh, a fork. I didn't see that. That was peculiar. It did it 3 times. That was different. Go figure. check something out real quick. Let's try. We'll do one game and see. That's 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay. Alright, we get to try this. Come on, stay on this. This knight actually does come in handy now, surprisingly. Boom, baby. We'll call that a day there. Okay. Ugh. Did better on that. Didn't waste any time, so I'm trying my hardest not to. Let's see if we actually acquired proper protocol here. Let's see. Oh, I see why that. Snap. That actually would have won the piece. I missed the tactic there. So I would have been up at least a 0.5. So that's okay. I did that there. I really thought I was going to play that. I took. And so at this point, I won that. He won there. I pushed, he played there. So that, yeah, I guess that does win a piece, doesn't it? Pretty straightforward win of material. Missed that, so I gotta remember that. Boom. And I won 2 pieces, so takes. Heck. That is, boom. That's mate. Okay. So let's get on to our puzzles now. Okay. I'll leave this for you guys to work out just for a second. I'll be right back. Let's do it. Let's see, what do we got here? Have you guys looked at any of these and put in any move sequences? Hey, how you doing? Let's see here. So he played pawn takes. So now we have to figure what do we want to do. That's interesting. Yeah. That would be an interesting move sequence for sure. So if we took here, he played there, we played there. Yeah, that would actually work, wouldn't it? We could just move our king too. So if queen takes, I guess the only move he does have would be check, but he could win this pawn too. So he could be, let's see, if we take the bishop and he's won, let's see, we have 5 pawns and he has 5 pawns. So he'd only be up a whole pawn if he took this there. So that wouldn't work. Yeah. He does have a check there. So if we have to calculate, if we play there, he checks there, what do we do then? I guess we just move our king up, don't we? To h2. Coming king g2. And we're fine. So that is interesting. So wondering maybe if we have something like, nope, we can't do that. The queen guard's there. So gotta probably say that, yeah, takes is kind of forced. If we come up here, he'll take there, so yeah. So I'm trying to, because his idea, if we move the king, he's gonna win that. He's going to win that anyways. So we have to decide how do we want to do that. If we move here, he has that. But if we don't, so we have to figure which route's the best for us. So if we play here, what could he do? He'd have to move his queen. That actually makes him use a tempo up. Yeah, I like that. I think that's the only move that, because if he takes here, we can actually play a rook takes d5. Yep, gotta love that. That's what we were thinking. Yep. Good job. I think we pick up a piece if I'm not mistaken here. If we take C takes, let me see, C takes, and then if pawn takes, or is it takes here? Is it rook takes bishop, pawn takes, rook takes, and then we're up. I'm thinking it's this. I'm thinking it's rook takes e5. Sorry, e5. And then if d takes e5, we play rook takes c. F5. Plus e5. Sorry, I had my thing there. Because this one looks like it wins, but it doesn't. It just the queen then can move and you're safe. Yeah, I like that. Now we have an in-between move, which is a check. You take, and then you take. My idea was this: if he takes here, yeah. Oh, what does it say about takes with the rook? Oh, okay. So takes with the queen is better. Okay, What is it like? Takes with the queen or takes with the rook? I like takes with the rook, but let's just see we'll give it full downloading capacity and we'll see what it says. So it likes the rook move. And if you play there, you can always just push, yeah. You push up and you've cemented everything. Yeah. Okay, dokie. Let's see. Oh, we're getting into an endgame. You gotta love that. Let's get it. I see a drink water. One sec. Oh, right. Okay. Back in the fray. Okay, dokie. Oh, rook c7. Okay. So yeah. So it's white to play here. Thinking rook e5. Maybe rook e3 is good. I like rook e3 now that I think about it, because then if he tries rook to g2, we could just slide over and snap the pawn off. And that stops everything. Or maybe we just move our king. We could just move our king up too. That might not be a bad idea. But the only problem is he has rook there. He has rook here at that point. And then we'd have to move our rook, and then he could slide over and take. And then we push. Yeah, so I believe that we have to play rook e2, e3. I think rook e3 is forced. I really don't see any other move that doesn't hold the position, because rook e3 prevents the rook from coming here, because he can't come there at that point. This is going to fall. The h3 pawn falls. What do you guys think? Rook e3? I think it's rook e3. I believe it's rook e3. I don't really see any other credible moves. Anything else allows for rook to g2, and we can't have rook g2. It's a no-no. We can't have rook g2. So, what do you think? I vote rook e3. What do you guys think? Do you guys like rook e3? Okay. Hey, let's give it a go. Oh, wow. What's wrong? What did I... Wait a second, what if he plays there, though? Oh, okay. But hold on, I want to ask a question. Yeah, snap. That was my fault there. I thought that it would stop that. I didn't realize that. Yeah, I tried to stop because I thought if he played here that it would we didn't need to take. Oh, drat! I should have thought about that. Because if he takes, we get that one tempo we need. Oh. That's not fun. Now we get rook e3 and it makes more practical sense. Okay. Okay, let me see. What does it want? Camp there. Okay, we get in behind the pawns. Yeah. That's a pain in the drain. Okay, let's see. Let's see if we can redeem this. Let's see if we can redeem this. I was playing as Jeremy Silman more reactive chess than proactive. So I need to play proactive, not reactive. Well, this is an interesting one, to say the least. What do you guys think? I'm thinking something to do with okay, if we're thinking to either maybe these are kind of my ideas, my moves. I'm thinking f2, or I don't know if f takes e2 e2 check is good. So I'm thinking something to do with one of those. There might even be a bishop c4, but I don't know. I'm not sure if one of those. I'm looking for candidate moves. So knight to knight h4. Is that what you're saying? And f, then d5. Let's see, knight f4. So you're saying knight f4, right? Is it? You're saying knight f4, or sorry, h4, sorry, h4, then e5. See, this is we're actually pushing. We're black, so knight c4. Oh, knight c4. Okay. Yeah, that is interesting, isn't it? That would be so knight c4, because knight c4. Oops, knight c4. If bishop takes c4, bishop takes. Sorry, bishop takes c4. Check, and then the king would have to move. Wherever the king moves, we push and win. That would kind of be that move, but if he tried to push, so let's say knight c4, and let's say h7, then we go knight d2 check, and king would have to go to g1, basically g1, and then we'd push probably we'd probably go f2 at that point, check, and he'd have to go king to h2, king h2. I believe that's kind of the line that would have to happen. Sorry, not king h2, not just h2, king h2. That's what I mean. We could just plainly take. What am I thinking? You could just plainly take the. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I like knight c4. I think you're right on that. Oops. Oh. Knight b4. Why knight? Why not knight? What's wrong with knight c4? Oh, he could check. Like pushes. plays there, we check. If he plays here, we push, and he has to come there, and then we queen with check. We'll do one more, and then I gotta log. Let's get this. Come on, we got this, guys. Come on, come on. We were right. We were right. We should have went with bishop. The knight move was good. We did see the right, but wrong combo at the time. We needed to do that pin because that he would have drew our bishop away, and then we wouldn't have been able to have done all the attack we wanted. So we had the right idea about where to place the knight. We just needed to move sequence would have been better. Let's see here. Bye-bye. Be blessed. Let's see here. Oh boy. Let's see if we have queen to queen b7, queen takes b7, queen takes b7. Oops. Queen takes b7, and if queen, so that's really strong. I'm actually changing my mind. I like rook takes b7. Right. Exactly. That was my idea. That's actually the whole entire idea. And if he ever castles, we pick off the bishop. So we're going to be winning material. So this is actually the best here. And then if he castles, we just come over and grab that. And if we play here, and he tries, we'll say something like there, we just play queen to c6 check, and when the bishop intercepts, we just come down and snap off that bishop, and we've won material. So what do you think? I like this move here. Boom, baby. Okay, so with that, we're probably going to Probably gonna log off. Do you guys have any questions on any of these puzzles? Do you have any questions? Is everybody good? I'll give you guys like a minute or so to type in, because there may be a slight lag or something on the server. So if you guys don't have any questions, just you could put in there no questions or no. I'll give you guys one more minute to see if you have any more questions. Then I'll wait till it hits 11 here. Just to make sure if you guys have any questions. Okay, take that as a nope. Well, guys, I gotta tell you, we gotta keep studying. You're gonna have days that sometimes you get red, but guess what? We figured out why that was the way it was, and we learned from it. So those points were worth the whole learning lesson. I'm gonna check one more time to make sure. Okay, good. No comments coming in. So you have to remember that like Josh Waitzkin said, the more that he learned was actually from his losses, but he says they're very painful, but it's worth it in the end to learn from them. So he kind of had more respect for chess. He says when he was a kid, the losses really were bad for him, but you know what? He got stronger through the losses. So the hardest thing to do is to keep going when you lose a game or so. But just remember, it's not you. It's all about where your knowledge level is at that moment. Keep studying, and you'll keep getting better. That's how it is in every field almost. Basically, every field is like that. So remember, every day sometimes we're like coal, but coal ends up becoming a diamond. Remember, there's what Hannibal Smith said. There's a plan in every position. You just have to find it. But remember, a plan is only good when you stick to your plan, and your plan makes your opponent do what you want them to do for you. You have to remember that's the whole thing. Your plan has to make them do what you want. And when you start reacting in chess is when you're starting to lose the initiative. Not the game, but lose, because you could regain the initiative and have them reacting to you. But you know what? Just remember to keep pushing forward. You know what? Sometimes you fall down, but you got to get right back up. And I'll leave you guys with this. As Wesley So says, through the Lord Jesus, as I say, God bless. And I'll see you next time on Chess Cruncher TV. Have a blessed morning, afternoon, and evening. And I'll be back on, Lord willing, tomorrow. and we'll do some more game studies and opening studies within London, and we'll do some puzzles and continue to keep pushing forward. Great job, guys. Keep studying, and I'll see you tomorrow. Be blessed. Bye bye.